Will anybody ever love me?
When is Jesus coming back?
Why doesn't the earth fall down?
Why is my father naked?
Do you think we should expect video games to be fully functional on launch day when they first come out?
Why wouldn't they be fully functional?
These days, because of internet, you can just release a game and it's not ready. It's got bugs, it's got problems, it's got stuff missing. Or it has to be online all the time, but then the online servers aren't that ready yet. Anyway, they can just release a game and people are excited enough to buy it. And they buy it and then they're sad that it doesn't work well and they have to wait for patches and server fixes.
I would be sad.
You would be sad?
Yeah.
What's it like? What's it like to buy a video game that you're excited about and then it doesn't really work? You can't get a refund, really, because you opened it. When you open a game,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you just bought that to pirate it, so you could sell it back to GameStop used, or you can just wait for them to patch it, maybe.
What the fuck?
I think it's a clear sign of the time that this obviously silly question holds any weight whatsoever. Yes, obviously we should expect our games to fully function on launch day. Sure, games are getting more expansive and releasing more often, but we can't let this lower our expectations. As soon as we start to lower our expectations, developers will cater to those lowered expectations and will result in more games like SimCity or Diablo 3. I don't think anybody wants that.
Absolutely, we should expect them to work on launch day. If the developer and publishers say that their game is ready for consumption, and I pay $60 for it, it better work. I can see, some bugs, some little things slipping through QA, testing, whatnot, but it's totally unacceptable. Say, in the example of lately, Star Trek and Dead Island Riptide, games selling themselves on a co-op experience where the co-op doesn't work. It's just balls. We had to wait a week to play these games. Why didn't they just wait a week to release it? The fact that it's just gotten so bad that people are actually defending this is just irritating to me. I have no idea how many times during my live streams, even just last week, where people are like, but Foom, it's the first day. Oh, but Foom, it's your fault for buying it on day one. What kind of attitude is that? Games should work. I paid money. I invested in it. And I do believe we should get a fully functioning product on day one.
Yes, I do believe games should be fully functional on launch day. I don't see any reason why we should expect any less from a video game we pay, $40, $50, $60 for, even less than that. I mean, as a consumer, we don't walk into stores and expect things we buy to be broken straight off the bat. Video games are obviously very complex. There's a lot of code and thought that goes into them. Things will break, but for me as a gamer, I expect the game on launch day to be able to be played from start to finish without any major breaking points. My save game should be fine. It shouldn't be corrupted. I should be able to get through most of the main quests without any issues or major glitches. These are things that are common sense, and I feel like if games aren't ready to deliver that, they shouldn't launch, period.
Yeah, games should work day one. Video games these days are a heck of a lot more complicated than they were 5-10 years ago, for sure. And yes, we have fairly efficient systems to deliver online patches, but they should still work. I don't feel there's any excuse for sloppy games at launch. Yes, you can be pushed for to meet release date. Yes, you can have to scrimp and scrape on QA, but at the same time, look at the reaction that some games have had at launch when they just flat out haven't worked. The SimCity debacle recently was more in tune with its online capabilities, but at the same time, if you knew those problems day of launch, would you buy that game? No. And so I feel that developers and publishers need to realise that they are making a product. That product, when you buy it, should work. Yes, you can excuse a couple of problems here and there, but there's absolutely no excuse to ship a broken game, not in this day and age.
No, we should not expect going into games that they're going to work as promised at launch. Based on my experience, that's become increasingly the case in this industry. Big budget games and multiplayer, I think most people will recognize that that's not going to work out well, especially not in the first week. And even for smaller titles that are worked on by oftentimes tiny teams that they might have good intentions, but there are going to be issues for some portion of the player base. There are just so many configurations, especially on PC, that it can be very hard to work around that. There have been growing pains going into this, and I think that the early adoption, what we would consider early adoption, has been pushed back, and now it goes far beyond alpha and beta builds, and you could consider launch week into that same category. With the ability to update and patch games, I think that timeline has been pushed back, essentially, and it's sad because I used to love getting games at launch. I didn't love the price tag, but I loved that sense of community and excitement you got that you can't talk to people about a game months after the fact. It won't feel the same as if you were in that group. At the same time, though, I can be thankful for people who are willing to still go in, try a game despite issues that are probably going to be there, and then tell us, the rest of us, that, hey, these issues exist. We're in a position now where we can afford to wait for the go-ahead from other people. That's actually pretty cool. It's not a great situation, but I think people are making the best of it.